Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got something very important to share with you guys today, and it literally made my jaw drop to the floor, so you may want to hang on to your seats. But a bloody miracle happened today. You see, Communist News Network, also known as CNN, actually said something true in one of their articles. No joke. And I can't wait to show it to you. But I mean, of course, they have their own liberal left-leaning ideology spewing throughout the article. But in the article, they actually make a true statement. And I can't wait to share it with you guys. But before I do, just a quick reminder, make sure you get on over to noblegoldinvestments.com or call them up today and take advantage of getting a 401k or getting a Roth, an IRA backed by gold, silver, and precious metals. Now is the time to do that. Hopefully you've already done it because you've been listening to what I've been saying about the economy. But if not, give them a call because right now they are giving away this Carson City uncirculated silver dollar with any approved IRA or 401k. Again, that's noblegoldinvestments.com. All right. So what on earth did CNN just admit to? Well, take a look at this article on CNN, CommunistNewsNetwork.com. The U.S. saw significant crime rise across major cities in 2020, and it's not letting up. Now, this was just published on April 3rd, so very recently. But here's the more important part. One, they've been big advocates for defund the police and these leftist radical agendas and supporting Black Lives Matter and Antifa. However, in this article, they actually admit that the crime that has raised is in Democrat-run cities. You know, Democrat-run cities that just so happen to be a part of the leftist defund the police movement. Yeah, they actually admitted that. But the article goes on to state in the very beginning, major American cities saw 33% increase in homicides last year as the pandemic swept across the country. Millions of people joined protests for racial injustice and police brutality, aka defund the police, and the economy collapsed under the weight of the pandemic, a crime surge that has continued into the first quarter of the year. Now, a little further in the article, right? Here's where they actually admit that Democrat cities are the worst as far as crime, and they're the ones that have spiked and skyrocketed. Here we go. In Chicago, homicides are up 33% in the first 3 months of the year compared to 2020, while shootings are up nearly 40% for the same period year over year. In New York City, another Democrat city, the NYPD data shows that murders jumped nearly 14% through March 28th. The latest numbers the department has made, while shootings were up nearly 50%. These are massive numbers in some massive Democrat cities. And of course, it's not just New York City and Chicago, also Los Angeles. In LA, homicides have increased nearly 36% from 67 to 91 through March 30th. LAPD officer told CNN, those three cities, the nation's largest, all saw significant increases last year over 2019. It was such a stark admission that even Breitbart News put out an article on it, and they said this: CNN admits crime wave highlights violence in Democrat-run cities. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You know, under the radar and in the middle of the paragraph, they actually admitted the truth. But the truth is, Democrat-run cities see far more crime than cities ran by Republicans. Why is that? Let me think. Because these Democrat people have been very pro Antifa riots and protests and BLM riots and protests. They've been all let's fund it, let's bail them out of jail, let's move this, let's defund the police and all this junk. And what happens? Crime explodes. Less money to the police department, less money to be spent in the streets. As a quick reminder, right? We knew this happened in Minneapolis when the entire city defunded them. What happened? All hell started breaking loose. Here's that article, and this is on foxnews.com. Minneapolis push to defund the police backfired on them after residents complained of slow response time and increases in crime. And then, of course, this article is very recent. The Defund the Police movement on FoxNews.com movement backfires as crime surges. And this is very current, April 2nd, 2021. Right? So all of this is backfiring. And let's go back. And this is a couple months ago or about October 2020, but it shows the nature of what's going on. But it says protesters want to defund police. And as a result, homicides and violence are spiking in Oakland. Ideology and practicality collide. Wow. So all this pans out. Democrat-run cities are seeing far more crime. And by the way, we don't need this uptick in massive crime in the middle of a pandemic. But it just so happens that it majorly focuses on, well, Democrat-run cities, as you can see here in this CNN article, Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles, right? Then we've got stuff like this happening again in mostly Democrat-run cities, right? We have Breitbart.com, prominent BLM activists threaten cities to catch him on fire, right? If he is not convicted, the whole George Floyd thing, right? And here's the actual video down here of the threat. And I'm just going to play it for you. Take a listen to what she says.
If George Floyd's murderer is not sentenced, just know that all hell is going to break loose. Don't be surprised when buildings are on fire.
Ooh. That should be worthy of, like, some kind of jail time or something, threatening to burn the streets if fill in the blank. Hey. But we know the Democratic Party is in support of them. Then we also have this. Police officer's trial isn't going as the left had planned, right? Then we also have this Gateway Pundit, and this just adds a little more fuel to the fire, but I wanted you to see it. GatewayPundit.com, failed Oregon governor vows to eradicate Trump forces. But of course, they're sympathizing with Antifa murderers while condemning Trump and federal officers. This is a lot of what we're seeing in the news lately. Democrats siding with radical organizations, crime increasing in our streets, at our homes, police being defunded, open borders where migrants are being mistreated, migrant children are being mistreated in mass. I mean, come on. That's why I think it's important to get the information out about what's truly going on in our country. And if you really want good information on what's going on, I got to direct you on over to restrictedrepublic.com. I really can't stress this enough. What we say on YouTube is limited. And if you want that uncensored content, you have to sign up on restrictedrepublic.com. I'm not the only one there. Justice Night is also there, and you can see some of the videos that are on there as well. But check it out at restrictedrepublic.com and get it for $1 for an entire month using the code DOLLAR. And that's for the monthly subscription. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.